And tonight, for one night only, Aussiedownunder Paranormal, live from the Drunken Husky Bar and Grill.
Can we keep that? That was brilliant! Yes! That was amazing. I'm back. You guys heard me before?
I'm Gary.
And I'm Whisper. That I seldom do.
Welcome live to the Drunken Husky! Oh, brilliant. So join us, guys, as we talk about spooky tales, our experiences in the field, the equipment that we use, and also the wonderful pups that we have with us tonight.
And my menu.
It's going to be one of these nights, people.
A couple of drinks in us.
The spirits are with us.
Love it.
Jack. Jimmy.
Oh, good evening, everyone.
Johnny.
Hello, everyone.
Evening.
We're going to have such a blast tonight, people. It's going to be funny.
Oh, man. So how's everyone's day so far?
Well, we can't hear them.
Ours has been good. We've had a good feed. And,
Yes.
yeah, plenty to eat. And, an annoying little, what do you call it?
That's boob. We got two lanterns running, K2 meters, and we've got Stan. Well, actually, everyone would know as Boo Bear, but we've actually known Stan. So if you hear a little voice, memory of one of our team members who passed away last year. So if you hear a little voice in the background every now and then, that's Stan. Yeah, we'll tell you a secret later.
You don't want to know.
I love it.
Yeah, so no, just tonight we're just going to talk about our experiences and what we get up to and what we don't get up to, and hopefully we'll have a good night.
Definitely. We, myself, I got a spell I got to do a bit later, so you guys are more than welcome to join in on me doing that. And Whisper, what are you up to tonight?
Pretty much the same as you guys. Sat here having a chat and enjoying the company.
Beautiful. Awesome. Well, how should we start?
Ladies first.
Oh, gosh.
Yep, sounds
Well,
like a plan.
alrighty. Gee, you put me on the spot, why don't you? Alright, guys. Well, I suppose you've all heard some of my stories listening to the podcast. You've heard a little bit about what I've experienced.
She's trying.
I am trying to talk, Stan. Please stop interrupting. It's not appreciated. Anyway, I guess I'll share one of my biggest experiences was before I joined our group. I had an experience at Aussiedownunder Lunatic Asylum, and this is when I was just becoming very aware of being an empath or having empathic skills. And what I found happened to me was I went with a group of my friends and I actually had my first attack. And that was that was a bit of a shock. So in Aussiedownunder Lunatic Asylum, they have a part of the jail, in the asylum, where they used to do the autopsies, experiments, what's the one where they get the tap it into your eye? Lobotomies.
Lobotomies, yeah.
Lobotomies. They were doing
Lobotomy,
a lobotomy, and I didn't really feel comfortable going in there, so my ex-partner went in there first because he got picked out and decided to scare everyone. And down at the back of the building were two jail cells, and he went towards one of the jail cells, and during that day I'd actually had my normal necklace that I wear for protection break on me, so I had nothing on me. It was my best friend and one of our other friends with us in a group of 20 with a tour guide, and he took us in the building And my ex was standing right at the very back where the jail cell was. And I was standing in the group, and our tour guide was explaining what the room was for, telling us that they would do live experiments on the patients, they would open them up, they would tinkle with their organs, tinkle with their brain, all sorts of stuff. And I looked at my ex, and he looked at me, and he smiled, and out from behind him, because the jail cells were kind of lit up, came this huge black figure. It was thick like tar, and it just came at me, and it kind of went... the way it moved was like kind of stopped, and then disappeared, and then kind of jerked forward, disappeared, jerked forward, disappeared, jerked forward. And as it came at me, I went and hid behind one of my friends. And next thing I know, I'm on the ground outside, and I'd thrown up, and my ex carried me out. And turned out that this particular entity would attack anyone that had empathic or psychic type skills. And that was really one of my first big interactions back into the paranormal field. So that was interesting. I ended up with a lovely mark the next day. I recovered, which was nice. But yeah, that was my first experience with something a bit dark and spooky.
And you were sitting outside in the dark.
Oh, I know. So yeah, that shook me up. So I stopped investigating for a little bit, and then I'd love to be a friend, Boo. And then just got back into the field when I met these guys. So yes, what about you, Whisper?
Well, I guess my interest in the paranormal started as a child. Listening to stories from Mum and Dad, my grandfather, and later on, probably in my early teens, that's when I probably experienced my first encounter. And there's been numerous things that I've seen and heard since then, but still I remain very sceptical on a lot of aspects. So I try to prove anything as, looking for real evidence before I'll say yes it's real or yes it's not. But I know what I've seen and I know what I've heard, and it's true. It's there. Some of the stories are just amazing, I remember one in particular when my dad, my grandfather and my uncle, they'd gone out shooting with a shotgun, rabbit hunting of a night time back in northern Yorkshire. And it was in an old brickyard, and they had all these rows of bricks, laneways of bricks. And my uncle, actually it was two of my uncles, my dad and one of my uncles had gone down this one particular lane, my grandfather and the other uncle had gone down the other. And halfway down, they heard this shotgun going off. Boom, 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 boom. Then again, loaded up, boom, 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 boom. Turned around and saw my uncle and my grandfather running for their lives.
Oh, gosh.
And I actually jumped the fence. My grandfather left his gumboots or his wellies behind him as he jumped the fence and kept going. Father and uncle caught up, and they just saw this white lady hovering, coming down the... Timing's perfect, wasn't it?
Timing!
That's my phone for anyone that's wondering. This white lady hovering down the aisleway of the brickyard towards them, and they asked it to stop. It wouldn't. They fired at it, and it still wouldn't stop. It just kept coming and coming and coming. So they took off, and that was probably my first memory. But from then, it's just grown and grown. My interest is just,
I suppose it's
never ending.
It's really good to have a skeptic in our group.
Well, look, I think you've got to be sceptical. You just can't take anything for granted,
I Oh, and that's it. And with skeptics, they bring another side, and it makes you want to prove that it's actually there, and you sort of have that competition saying, okay, I'm going to show you that this stuff is real. And
Look,
you
I say I'm a skeptic, but I do believe.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
You
it.
know, it's finding evidence,
yeah.
not just relying on someone's hearsay.
Oh, that's it. And look, we've had skeptics in our group, and they push and push and push until they get to a point where, okay, well, then they start questioning their beliefs. Okay, well, there's something here. So they walk away from an investigation with that little bit of doubt. But yeah, they're still skeptics, but they've got that doubt. So.
Yeah, I mean, I find like with my family's kind of like split, where my dad's very intuitive, he's very spiritual, and then my other family members are kind of, they know they have some certain gifts, but they don't want to explore it, and then you just have my dad and I who are like very involved in this sort of field, which I find really interesting.
Yeah.
You know, some people are really involved in this field, and other people just don't want to bar of it. It's too much for them.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you just got to have an open mind.
Yeah.
You really do.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Because, no one sort of passed away and come back and week later and say, oh, by the way, this is what happens. It just hasn't happened. So.
No, I think there are secrets too.
It's
or
not
like,
Hollywood.
no.
Yeah, well, that's it.
No,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
not.
We're not making movies about it. So.
I mean, gee, I love horror movies. I'm a horror and fanatic when it comes to any sort of myths, any sort of tales, any sort of horror, any sort of, I guess, anything to do with history and people's myths and legends. I absorb it, but Hollywood, I feel, is just taking it way out of control.
Yeah.
Way out of
Definitely.
control. But I suppose too, like you get, I guess in the field that we work in, because we specialise in also just like, well, not specialise, but we have equipment that we use.
Yeah, and that validates, especially for mediums and empath, you sort of validate that you walk into a room, you sense, you feel, you say, okay, well, there's someone in that corner, and when you say there's someone in that corner, you'll always get, and I've noticed it myself, you'll always get someone that'll run over there with a K2 meter, and they go, oh yeah, look, the K2 meter's going off. So that the electronic side of it, the scientific side of it, then validates what you as a person is feeling. And, human bodies are real good they're really sensitive to changes in the environment.
Yeah, but doing that, you need to do a baseline before.
Baseline, yeah.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of that when we go into any place. We usually run around with K2 meters, make sure, powers, if there's power on, where the power, what's it supplying, water heaters, air conditioning units,
Even
alarms,
water pipes under the floor.
water pipes, the whole lot. And that's what we do when we do investigation. We've got dowsing rods. We just check. He's had more to drink than what we've had. Oh, that all just pushed. Well, that's it. I'm out of here. I'm scared. There's something sitting here. It's just pushed that bear over.
Well, we would know because the huskies would come running over. That's the other thing we sometimes use in our group is Whisper will bring his beautiful pups.
Oh, I always bring one of my dogs with me. They're very sensitive, especially at Bundoora. Maya, in particular.
Yeah.
My old girl. She was the first one that I took along. And I don't know, for her has been to Bundoora. If you go into the main house there, I've had experiences in the bathroom. I just will not go in there. I always get a headache. And running Maya around, and she stopped at the door. She would not go in.
Mm-hmm.
And then recently I took my young boy Floki,
My boy.
and again he will not go in there. So that validates that yes, there is something,
Yep.
but I don't know what.
It was like that investigation. We had an investigation up at Bundoora last weekend, and we had another group with us, Mornington
Peninsula.
Paranormal Group. Hello, people. We'll be ringing one of them people tonight, have a bit of a chat with her, and she's got to give some of her experience, which will be good. So stick around, and we'll give her a ring and let her come live to air. We tried an experiment in the bathtub. Usually we only have one person sit in the bathtub, but this time we actually had two young ladies sit in the bathtub, and some of their experiences was we haven't heard before, where the bathtub actually started vibrating,
Yeah,
which was
and
unique.
Even their group recorded a little bit of vibrating, had the same experience, and you know, we actually did a podcast and we did speak about that. So if you want to know more about that, tune into the
go to our social medias and you'll see all the podcasts and some of the videos what we've.
I believe you also had trouble in the church the last time you were there.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I couldn't make it to the last one, but prior to that, I don't know if you remember, Beck, I had Floki there, and he went crazy in the church. There was something in there just annoying him, and he was growling and carrying on.
Well, then after, because I took Loki around to lock up everything that last time I was there, and as we went past the church, so the way you work is after we finish the investigation, we go and lock all the buildings up, and the last one I went to go do was the church, and Floki just stopped, and he growled. I remember I came running back, oh, Floki growled! I go down there by myself!
And look, if you know him, that's just not in his nature.
There's definitely something in that church. Well, Rebecca can explain what happened in the church. It's
so for those
scary.
that didn't listen to the last podcast, myself and 3 other girls went into the church, and we were in there for a while, and at first everything was smooth sailing. We were talking about Kim was talking about the piano, and the other 2 ladies were sitting at the far end at the front of the church, but you know, towards the front. And then we went to the altar at one stage. We were mucking around with that, had the equipment out, and then all of a sudden one of the girls, I think it was
Yeah, I'm going to put a log on the fire in a minute.
we need a board with names.
It's called Old Jay. Who are you again?
So basically we had a couple of us start acting a bit bizarre, like very aggressive but not aggressive, more like firm.
You're becoming aggressive to each other.
To each other as well.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think the best way one of the girls put it was that we all came in sync with our parents. So we all started cracking it at each other, and then we went to try and leave the church, and it was like something just wouldn't let us go. And we would start to see within our own mind like a dark form at the door. And I usually have a spirit guide with me named Alira, and it was because I unfortunately been through an emotional time recently. Her abilities are kind of, long story short, when your energy is low, their energy is low. So it's very important that if you go into a field like this, that you cleanse yourself, you enlighten yourself with positivity, you're happy, you know, you surround yourself with love, because that's a very good way of protecting yourself when it comes to these sort of things. And I'd had a massive month of just lows. And just not the right frame of mind, and all of a sudden I just felt a stinging to my eye, and I was like, oh, what's that? And I don't know, and we don't know if, like, as you said, I could have had an allergic reaction. We don't know.
You only got to rub against a plant or something.
Yeah.
And rub your eye. And...
Yep.
Yeah.
So the next thing I know, I called Gary. I'm like, Gary, you got to get down to the church. We're not feeling comfortable here. Gary came down to the church, and by the time the girls and I were able to get outside, my eye had just swelled up. And
there's video of that.
There's videos of that. There's pictures. And then I went back up to the house and I had to sit with the tea bag on my eye for this. My eye, you can't see it now, but that took at least another 2 days to just...
Yeah, and the next day you had a mark on your chest.
I did. I actually had a mark.
Scratches.
I didn't tell you about that one. I had a mark.
You did.
Oh, I did. I had a mark
Gary
right
might
here.
have.
Yeah, the scratches on the chest.
I didn't have it the night before, and I did not have it when I got home. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, and we're sort of discussing who it could be.
Yeah.
And we sort of put it down to a guy. He's jumping between the church
In the school.
and the school.
We've actually had him go at one of our younger girls ages ago when we did an investigation there, and then he's locked 2 other girls in there. And
Yeah.
usually you can feel it because the energy of everyone goes dead quiet. I've noticed. Yeah. Everyone goes
And they seem to
quiet.
get aggressive.
They do.
It's like you
get agitated with each other.
Yeah, you can be the best of mates, but you feel like you want to wring their neck.
Yeah.
you don't want to.
Well, the same thing
I just
happened
want to be alone.
a couple of years ago, Gary, before Beck joined the group, with another group that got trapped in the church or the school.
Yeah, well, we've had Fiona and Lou.
Yeah.
They were
right.
trapped in the school,
In the school, that's right.
and then they got trapped in the house. So yeah, there's definitely. But that church, we can do one investigation there, and it's cool. And
There's,
then
yeah, absolutely nothing.
nothing, and then you go back a week or
Well, you
month.
guys caught some amazing evidence one day where you had a prayer going.
Yeah, oh, that was one of our ex-members. We were actually in the church, and we had an SP11 running, and we had it running. I think it was 100, about 100. We had it running in reverse, and we actually had some sort of an ethnic or Islam or Muslim prayer. And to this day, we cannot work out how it was coming through. It was like someone had just come up to the SB11 that we had running, and someone had just plugged straight into that. And
Introduce yourself.
it was just...
Everyone, just quickly.
This is Floki.
Say hello.
You want to hold my hand?
No, that wasn't Floki.
That was the bear.
Yeah, that was...
Dogs can't talk.
yeah, and this one's...
Though he
making every-
tries.
Yes, all right. Yes, I love you too. Oh, God.
He's a big smoocher. You're a big smoocher.
Yeah, so anyway, yeah, to this day we cannot. If I can, I'll see if I can. I have got the actual audio and video. I will put in the room, but it's the SB11's design. Basically, it's an AM/FM radio, and it's basically its sole purpose is to scan the frequencies. It doesn't stop on radio station. It just jumps. It just scans.
Probably try and get that out tonight and show you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
Some
it's
of the
it's also I'll put a link in our room on our YouTube channel. I'll see if I can find it and actually link it via YouTube. But to this day we cannot work out how this. It's just like someone had just plugged a mic into it and they just went full. And this went for a good 12 minutes, and you couldn't understand it. And then we said, "Oh, okay." And then I said, I know, being electronic, okay. We actually Googled to see if there was any churches or anything within the area that we were investigating. The closest church that we found that might have electronic microphones or Wi-Fi microphones was 12 kilometres away. And yeah, we just to this day we just cannot work. What are you laughing at? What have I done?
No, I'm laughing at him.
What the?
He looked at me
It's
and
going to
he
be a
went,
funny night tonight, people.
he winked.
Who are you winking at?
He looked at me and then he went,
Look out. I think them two need to get a room.
oh, he steals the bed as it is.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, he steals the attention as well.
Yeah, so that was pretty freaky when you have, a language that comes through, and it was a prayer. It was whether it was, we just don't know. And you go, you just can't.
Can't debunk it.
You can't debunk. I can't explain. I've been using SP11s now for over 5 years, and it's never ever. I've never ever encountered that situation. I've had spirits come through on the SP11 in short sentence, but this was a constant. It went for about 12 minutes, just a constant. We couldn't even when we stopped scanning, it was still coming through. Then I said, okay, we'll do, and we were doing forward scan, we were doing backwards, but it just persisted. So that was and that was in the church, and that was a unique experience.
Excuse me, I'm just going to put another log on the fire.
Oh, go for it. And we've even had...
We're outside, people. We're sitting.
Yes.
Whisper's got this beautiful area where there's fires going, and as you can probably see behind me, there's barbecue, and he's done he's got a pond over, or not a pond, a water feature, but we've actually turned that off because it made it just want us all go to the toilet with the running water constantly. So we shut that down for a while. As you can see, we've got a
So that is a pile of husky fur.
yeah, that's a pile of husky fur. That's hang on, I'll just there.
If anyone's wondering.
Yeah. And
that's Floki.
yeah. He's just jumping in on the action. There's actually another two. It looks like they're flaked.
So we have Quinn and Maya. But yeah, so no, you can't have the drink. Not yet.
And you're underage.
Exactly. So I guess it was really cool because I've seen animals being brought to investigations before, but getting to meet Whisper and Floki was an amazing experience for me. I just absolutely enjoyed it. Floki was such a character. So I got to take him at one stage, like I said, closing the buildings, and it was just good to see the reaction that animals have when it comes to this sort of field.
Oh, but you only have to look on sometime on YouTube or even TikTok. You see someone will put something up where there's a cat in a room and it's just staring, and then all of a sudden the cat just races off. What the?
Sorry, he's a smoocher. Floki and I have something going on.
Another time I was at a friend's place in Muralbark, and we were sat there chatting. They had a little, what was it, Maltese terrier thing, sat in the middle of the floor there. So,
Oh, okay.
and we're chatting around, and then all of a sudden, this smell really strong smell of violets came through the room, and the little dog sat up like this, and he spun his head as if he was watching someone pass, and went back to sleep, and the smell of the violets just disappeared.
Oh, okay.
That's bizarre.
So it was, it was pretty amazing.
I remember when I lived in Beechworth starting out. I lived in Ballarat for a long time, about 2 years, and we were directly opposite the Eureka battleground.
Oh, yeah, I want to go there.
I would have night terrors because of that place, and my dogs. We had like an outdoor. It was weird. So the house was very old, and we had like an outdoor cellar where they would put and bring all their cold food, and that's where they would store it. So the property was very old. And
You got to think also, like in them days,
Yeah.
because there was no morgues, so a lot of cellars, were
yeah.
actually used
Used as
to
morgues.
keep the bodies cool.
Well, I tell you what, my two dogs hated that. They hated that place. They absolutely hated that back area. And when we'd get them inside, they didn't like coming inside either. And the funny thing was, so my history is that I used to own a wildlife demonstration company, and we had a 6-foot crocodile, and she was living in that cool area.
All right,
Before, and that was after the dogs would have reactions and stuff. And it was just weird because the reason why he put her in there was because you could easily heat it up, because heat can't escape it unless it's through the door. But I just hated going in there. Before we got her, I hated going in there. She was only in there for a little while until we relocated, but I just hated that place.
Yeah.
I hated that house. I hated the land. I would always get visitors, and we'd hear like knocks on the door, and I'd go open the door, no one's there. And we were directly opposite Eureka Park, and it just used to terrify the crap out of me. And I would only stay there every week, every weekend, go home on the train, stay at my sister's, come back, and then would, work at the wildlife park and then do it all again. And the weekends that I would spend there, I just hated it. I hated it. Just hated that house. It's gone now, thank God it's gone.
So you're saying you didn't like it?
It was a little bit scary, was it?
A little bit scary.
Hate it.
I remember that day we had an invite to Joe Stanley.
Yeah.
And the vibration, because you had your gear on, and I think you were sitting in that doorway, and your hand was just shaking.
Couldn't hold still.
Yeah. And that was different.
I think too, because I remember being at Ballarat, and that was probably one of my lowest I've ever felt, like full-on depression.
Yeah.
Just absolute, just horrible thoughts. And the funny thing was, my housemate, absolutely love her. She was amazing, lovely girl. The minute she'd go into that house, she'd change. She'd lock herself away in that bedroom, and we wouldn't see her unless she'd come out and watch a movie with me. Her name was Marnie. She's beautiful. But yeah, eventually she moved out. She couldn't take it anymore. And her and I both would just have very, very low moments. So.
Can you touch my tummy?
What's that noise? That humming noise.
Music coming from somewhere.
Well, that's weird, isn't it?
I wonder if it's neighbours.
No, what the?
Never hear my neighbours. I'm
It's
too
not
far
coming from
away
inside
from
your
them.
place, is it?
No,
Uh-oh.
What?
That's it. Yeah, well, exactly. Exactly. What? Yeah, exactly. What the?
And who stood you up again?
It's going to be one of these nights.
Oh no.
But you can hear the crackling of the fire. But what's that other noise?
We're picking up music from somewhere.
And
Do you have a favorite song?
all
Hang
these
on,
are
they'll
there.
probably play it for us.
And everything's off here.
I can hear music when I take these off. It's coming from that way. Oh no, it's
That
that,
way.
that way? It is that way. Alright.
Whew. Debunked. We've debunked
Live
it.
debunked. We need the little thing on the camera that says debunked.
No, no.
Because of where we are, it's so quiet here at night, so every sound just travels.
Doesn't that sound fantastic? The crackling of the fire.
crackling of the fire is amazing. I'm so glad you put another log on that fire. So yes, well, what? So okay, so I guess interviewing you guys, if I were to interview you guys,
Now this could be scary.
what are some of the moments in your group where you have really?
More friends we can play with?
We will talk about the other friends later.
Have we? No.
Read the book we gave you.
Have we had any comments at all, Gary?
Not yet, no.
All we got was a hi crew. Ah, it's
It's Hayden. Hi, Hayden.
Hayden.
I typed back to him anyway. That was 25 minutes ago. We're a bit slow.
We're a bit slow tonight. We had a bit of technical issues, and then we picked out on roast pork.
Homemade sausages?
Oh,
Salad?
yes. Unfortunately, guys, this isn't an actual drunken husky bar and grill place, unfortunately.
No,
So
it's just a backyard bar
it's a
with a
backyard.
theme.
It is sensational, though. So yeah, so I guess interviewing you guys. How did you guys meet? Because we haven't actually asked that. How did you two meet?
Us too. Well, apart from the paranormal, our
Oh, it would have been at Kurth Kiln.
paths crossed many, many times
Kurth Kiln.
at Kurth Kiln. Well, Gary was
I was the president.
of the kiln, and I used to go along every year to the festival, and I do displays with the huskies, showing people how to harness them up and when we used to race,
And
and
Rob-
also
rob the bank.
well, yeah, we
That's a
took
good
horses along and we do a mock bank robbery for the people. And also, I don't know if you remember, we used to take a bullock team down with us and we'd harness up the bullocks.
That's
and-
right, yeah.
So, yeah, I did numerous things at the kiln, and that's not that we probably really talk much apart from hello, how you going?
And that was about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And then,
I was president there for quite a number of years.
yeah,
My hand?
I went down, I was interested in the kiln because they had old vintage engines.
Oh, of course.
And I like old engines. And I just went down there just to see what... And then I might join this group. And then about 2 weeks after I joined, I didn't realise that apparently because it's a fairly old age group. And apparently behind the scenes they were talking, hey, we've got a young bloke here. Hey, let's make him president. So, yeah, I was president for years and years until I broke my leg. And then I had
Yeah.
to step down and all that. But, yeah, that's how
also happened at Kurth Kiln.
It also happened at Kurth Kiln. Yes, I fell down
a
the
lot
stairs.
of history there.
Yeah.
You went
Probably
bushwhack.
our, not friendship, but our paths crossing probably go back about 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was president for, trying to think, probably a good 10 years, I reckon. 10
So
or
then,
12
how
years.
did you start TDUPI? Or what does everyone call it?
A doobie.
A
doobie.
doobie. A
A
doobie.
doobie.
A doobie.
Yeah, a
How-
doobie.
So what made you start it, besides the paranormal? How did you form
Well,
a
I've been
doobie?
doing it for a long time,
Yeah.
over 35 years. And going back that many years, there wasn't an internet.
No.
You know, you had a dial-up modem, you know.
Oh my
if
god.
you wanted to play a game or something, you had to dial a phone number, and there just wasn't. Like there's people out there, but the communication you wouldn't know. But
No.
when the internet started coming in, what 2002, 2003, something like that. Anyway, I had people just ask, how about we start a group, and we did. In 2009, that's when we'd sort of, okay, let's people are interested in this stuff. Hey, let's do it. So I just put it out there. Hey, that's Aussiedownunder Paranormal Investigation. Let's do it. And
So that's how you just came up with the name.
that's how we just come along. We're Aussies and we're down under paranormal. Let's do it. So that's
I
how
like
it comes.
that.
So that's how it
I
comes.
had nothing to do with it. I joined the group afterwards.
Yep.
And it was just, I decided to get back into the field. And I rang Gary up one night, hey, can I come along? Yep.
Beautiful.
And it just grew from there.
Yeah.
Yep. And then when did you start bringing Maya?
Um,
What was the first one you brought her on?
Oh, God. I've only had this Maya probably about 5 years now. She's an elder girl when I adopted her. All my dogs are rescue dogs. So I took her when she was probably about 9, was the first time. But we used to set her up with, I had a harness so she'd carry her own cameras.
Yeah, the old GoPro on the
GoPro. She had
yeah.
one on her chest and one on her back. So we get the Maya cam. So we get a dog's.
Maya cat.
A dog. Yeah, well, we got a dog
A dog's
view. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's so important. We need to do
We
that
saw
again.
what she was looking at, and it was very interesting. It was a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
So we have our own little paranormal canine investigation team.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
You remember she used to wear the little backpack with a doopy on
On
the
the
side?
side.
Yes.
She's too fat now, it doesn't fit her. She's too old. She's poor old girl. She's 14 this year. So.
Happy birthday, baby girl. And she's a precious little one. She does zoomies. So the way that Whisper's door works is it's both a swinging door in and out, and she'll burst through that. You just hear, and she's so cute.
Oh, she's a little speed demon. She
Oh,
is.
and we haven't got the heart to tell her, but that she's been replaced by a Phantom helicopter. The Phantom 2 helicopter. So, so we haven't broken that news to her yet.
No. And then Floki's in training, so he's so good though. He's very good.
Favorite color?
Purple, my favourite colour.
I yet to take Quinn. I think he'd be quite good
I would
because he's
love to take Quinn.
he's such a daddy's boy.
I was
He
going to
loves,
say, he's a dad's boy.
yeah, anything to protect me. He
Yeah.
can't even yell at me and he'd go off. Honestly. But he sits there and he watches his pack.
Yeah.
And just protects the whole lot of us. So.
Yeah, he's a very good boy.
It'd be interesting, like in the church, when that activity raises, how
How
would they react?
Yeah, I should bring the whole 3 of them one
Just
night.
to see.
Yeah, what might be to do that when we got
I
coming.
clean Quinn.
If you can hold him.
Oh, I think
You
my.
probably get dragged beyond him.
Oh, I remember like at one
The
stage.
problem is my because I sled with them. Oh, not so much now. Because of COVID, I haven't been able to get up the snow for a few years. But I sled with my dogs, so they're trained to pull.
I know.
And holding 3 of them, honestly, it's a nightmare.
Trust me, people will record it, and it will be videoed.
Get a pair of grass skis for Bet. Off she goes.
Oh,
Well,
so
that'd be fun to watch.
that'll be so good. And as you can see, we love having a good laugh. There's nothing wrong with having a good laugh when we're doing investigations. We've had some funny moments.
Oh, look, even when doing an investigation, you don't have to be serious.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of fun and a lot of laughs with spirits.
Oh, yeah. Or remember when you had
Some of the comments that we've picked up on.
yes.
Remembering the one I got told when you walked back, you went back to one of the places.
Yeah, remember when you had that issue, and then you actually come back and you asked, and then you said, "I'm back."
Right. I'd had a heart attack, so I'd spent a week in hospital. Come home, and then the next investigation, where was I? Panton Hills?
Panton Hills, yeah.
Panton Hills Hotel. And I walked in, and all I said was, "I'm back." And all I had, "Oh no."
And that come out of a portal because we had the echo box running.
Whispers back.
Because we use the echo box in the portal, which is basically a guitar amp, and it's just plugged into a tablet running echo box. And and I tell you what, talk about crack up. That was
Some of the stuff we've gotten on that. I remember one day we'd actually had a investigator who no longer came with us, and he used to really upset the spirits. And I remember one day asking, "Oh, so guys, he's not coming back. What do you think of that?" And we had all great.
oh yeah, they were wrapped that we actually
They
got
were
rid of them.
so happy,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he just did not have the right energy. And I remember asking, "Well, should I invite him back?" And
It was no.
it was beep him. No, like direct no, and we all just started laughing. We couldn't believe it, and that's just direct contact.
Yeah.
And I think too, what's really funny is when we get stuff like that, we actually are just kind of blown away by that. Like, geez.
Well, it does blow you away. I mean, as I said before, I'm very sceptical about a lot of things, but when they call you by name,
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
you know, and there was so many times that, "Oh, Whisper can have it," or
Yeah.
"Whisper do this," or "You're naughty, Whisper." Remember that one? You're naughty. When I was using that electronic igniter,
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. You sort of charge things
I
up.
sort of figured, well, you know, they thrive on electricity, so I got one of those electronic barbecue starters. I'm going click, 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 in the air, and they go, and I'm going to swear because they said, "Fuck off, Whisper." And I kept doing it, and then I got, "Oh, you're naughty." And you've got to laugh. you
Oh.
know.
Well, where we started cracking jokes, and then they started jumping on board,
Yeah.
and we're running the portal, and they actually, in the end, we had to say, "Hey, come on, people, settle down," because they're actually becoming worse than what we were telling they just all piled on,
Yeah.
and they were going left, right, and they just went out of control.
Well, they just enjoy a joke as much.
Oh, yeah, that's it. But
you and I,
I think we all got embarrassed because they were doing better jokes than what we were.
Well, you know, I had just in the car with Gary on the way here, and I had to put up dad jokes, and I was on the radio going, back to Whisper, save me, back to Whisper, save me, little wolfie, I need help.
What you did
They
you-
called me on 27 meg radio prior to getting here. So I think it was just to shut Gary up. So Beck was talking to me. And I went, "Well, we're on their way. We'll be there soon. And open the gate and put the pork on.
We're here.
Pour me a Black Russian."
Oh man, Whisper does a really good.
Well, I cracked a joke. And she's on the radio. Can you help me out? I don't think you'd hear her say, but it was funny.
But I guess too, we've also had some, I guess, teary moments. Like,
Oh, yeah. Well, we can explain with Stan,
yes,
one of our members. It only passed, what, a month?
it wasn't even a month. It was like a month and me. Oh no, probably not even. Yeah, I
Probably,
reckon it was less than a month.
Less than a month. And we're actually at the church at Bundoora. And I have got the audio of this. He actually come through.
That was amazing.
And
I
it was
just-
his, and we actually had other people there that had met Stan. They knew his voice. They weren't, best friends, but they knew what Stan, how he spoke, how he talked, how he, and even they were shocked.
And the funny thing was, it was in the church.
And it was in the church.
That's what I can't get out of all the places. You picked the damn church.
Yeah, and it was funny because I think I was sitting on this, what?
So you were sitting next to me, but I was like towards the end of the aisle where the wall is,
Yeah.
and then you were sitting there.
Because people commented, because when Stan's voice started coming through, people commented on us too.
Yeah,
because of our shock. We sort of
First,
we sort of
I
looked.
just went, like I was just
Oh yeah,
so
no,
shocked.
and yeah, I did tear up. Because it was Stan, because I used to work with Stan. And when I heard that voice, we both looked at each other. Oh my God! I tears down the face.
you
and,
did.
Oh,
And
it's-
then literally after Stan came through, my mum came through.
yeah,
And that shocked me even more because I've never had an actual one-on-one with my mum ever. When my mum passed, I saw her go and I never had any contact with my mum ever again. Literally, I'd been begging and begging for her to come through some way or another. And then that night,
everything
she just came through and I even played it to my dad.
Yeah,
And my dad, he is skeptical when it comes to like spirit boxes and stuff, even though he's very spiritual, but he knew her voice and just went,
Did you make it?
bloody hell, that's your goddamn mother.
yeah.
How? Like, how?
But that notwithstanding, that was because I just remember the
That was
look. We just
amazing.
looked at
We
each other and
just
said,
looked at each other.
and I think we virtually at the same time I said, "Oh my God,
We
that
both
is Stan's
reacted.
voice. That is Stan." And it was Stan's voice that
And he
came
was
through the portal.
answering everything.
Everything. We asked him certain things, and just
He knew it.
bang, bang, bang. He knew the questions. Oh my! Now this is Stan. You know, it's yeah,
We even asked, are you happy that we named Boo after you?
yeah. That didn't. He
And
virtually gave the thumbs
he
up.
gave us the thumbs
Yeah.
up. And he chuckled.
Yeah, he had a bit of a laugh.
Actually chuckled. So that was just...
That was pretty unique. You know, especially when I worked with this guy for good 20 years. And yeah, you get to know someone's voice, you get to know how they speak, how they phrase things, how they talk. And it was Stan. It really was.
Oh, he's an amazing man.
So hence that's why we've named that bear, that bear there. And we've named him Stan in honour of Stan. And yes, I think Stan's with us every time we do an investigation. Yeah.
I think what we'll have to do is one day coming up, we'll dedicate an episode to Stan.
Yeah.
One of our podcasts to Stan. That'll be really nice.
I met Stan at first time I met Stan was at was it Kangaroo Ground,
Yeah.
the cemetery.
Cemetery, kangaroos, yeah.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Hey, you never ask a lady how old she is. You'll
Hang
get
on, hang on. Are we talking about Whisper or me?
Yeah.
If he's asking, no, it's none of your bloody business.
Yeah. Hey, come on, it's not after 9 o'clock yet. We can't. Mature audiences after 9. It'll go to Ra. You might see an R symbol come up later on when after 9 o'clock.
Love it.
No, it was just an instant connection. First time I ever met
Yeah.
Stan. He's just a lovely man.
Yeah, and that's what I find with groups. Like last weekend, the group that we had come with us, you just had this connection. And look, there's a lot of groups out there. We know that they're only in it for the
Fame?
fame, you know, big note, money.
Publicity.
That's not us. We're the opposite. Low key, go in, do our stuff.
Yeah, we'll actually pay you to come and do it.
That's it. We'll pay you to come with us. Yeah.
Yeah. That is true. I think too, like when we have done investigations or we've had people we've had to help or anything like that, the reaction.
Yeah, all we've had
It's
to be
just
people
so
that
shocking.
have freaked out and okay, look, just come over here and we'll explain why and yeah. But I think I think the bulk of the groups are pretty good, but there's a few out there that just they're in it for the
I think
fame
too with
and-
these TV shows, you got to remember. So our evidence as an investigation team, so with Bandura, for example, we do from 5 o'clock, and we don't pack up until at least 1. And then you have these other shows where you got to remember, guys, like we sometimes won't catch a whole bunch of evidence, but when you watch these shows, they're there for days.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes,
Weeks,
like
yeah.
one of the ones that Gary and I and Whisper, I don't know if you watch him, is Nick, and he actually will stay at the location for like 90,
Yeah, that
95 hours,
72
or-
hour
oh,
lockup.
72
But they're
hour
there for a
lockup.
week.
And they're there for a whole week. So it just goes to show the difference between people's investigations, and then unfortunately you do have some that fake their
Yeah.
stuff. But that's because they want reviews. That's what's entertaining about it.
Oh yeah, it's all
That's
show.
why you've got to, make a joke about it, because otherwise you'd just be bored.
Oh
Shitless.
yeah.
Pretty much.
Sorry, my bad.
You would. You'd be bored because
Did you hear that,
sometimes just nothing happens.
Yeah, exactly. And look, I've gone on investigations where I've been really down and you get nothing. And yet we've got an investigation, we've been happy in that. And I think if you go in there and treat the area, the land, treat it with respect, then how many times have you ever heard of people that just go in there and say, oh, I'm such and such, and blah, you know, they sort of blow their trumpet.
They intimidate.
Where we do the complete
don't
opposite.
do that.
We go in there, we have fun, and we don't force them to come out. And after a while, they say, "Oh, these guys are cool. Let's start." And then that's when we get a lot of evidence when we do that.
And I think too, you got to be careful because when you go in there and you encourage something negative, oh, come out, I don't believe it.
Oh, yeah.
You can have
yeah.
reactions like I did.
Yeah.
And I didn't do provocation. Is it provocation? Where you antagonise?
Provoke.
Provoke. What the heck? Dyslexic moment, people.
Taxi.
So, that's my dyslexia.
I was just trying to decipher this.
And she's only been drinking herbal tea all day.
Oh, this is my dyslexia. Deal with it. But yeah, like I don't provoke because I've provoked once and it backfired on me something shocking, and
it's
I
a bad
never
outcome.
did it again.
No, you're active, or you're gonna,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
you
You attract it.
attract evil.
Yeah. And I know a couple of guys that do that, and they get nothing. Oh, this is all bullshit. Yeah, and well, hang on, mate. It's the way you conduct yourself in university. You don't go in there guns blazing because they'll just look at you and go, "You're a dickhead. We're not doing anything." And
No.
that's exactly what happens.
And sometimes, like, it'll take you a few times in the same place before they'll feel
Comfortable.
comfortable to actually interact with you.
Oh, that's it.
You know, oh yeah, these guys are good.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, what's
They're
the
not
first thing
here
we
to
do when we
hurt
go to
us.
Bandura? What's the first thing you do?
I actually go down and I introduce myself,
Yeah,
and then I go,
and-
"Hey guys, how are
And
you?"
then you make a cup of tea.
I do. I have a spirit there, Ed, and I go and I make him a cup of tea.
And he enjoys it. And we get responses when we, I think if you look, I've actually got the video actually of that actual investigation from last weekend where we actually interact with Ed. Rebecca's made the cup of tea, put it on the mantelpiece, and we had the music box running, and we're asking questions, and we're getting a response, so we knew it was definitely Ed. But he had his cup of tea, and he was happy for the night.
Yep.
We even asked if he'd like another one, and virtually we got told no.
And it's a certain way he likes it because he does get fussy, like any human. He likes Earl Grey, he likes it strong, he likes the tea bag left in with a little hint of milk, and it has to be hot.
Yep, he will not touch it.
And he does not like any sugar in it.
Yep.
Unless I bring a particular honey, and that's it.
But we had that one as well. Remember in the bar? What would you like to drink? Beer.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because it was set on the table. Oh, yeah, because we gave him the option of beer, wine, and spirits.
Yeah.
That's right. I think was it Colleen that asked, or was it
Might
you?
have
Or
been- no, I never asked. It might have
someone
been
else?
Colleen.
Oh, actually, yeah. Or was it me? They said, "Oh, we've got 3 types of alcohol here. What would you like? Beer, wine, or a spirit?" And it went beer.
Yeah.
And then when we put it on the table, it goes, beer.
Yeah.
And then didn't we have the staff standing behind us that were working that night? And we asked, "Oh, who is the manager?
Yeah,
this-
that's right.
Who's the manager of this hotel?" And they come out with a name.
I
And
can't
the,
remember his name, but
no, I can't either.
Yeah.
And the girls, the actual girls that were working there that night, you shoot their faces, and then all of a sudden they're on their phones to their partners or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, this spirit just said the guy's name. I can't think of the guy's name, but yeah, because
Yeah.
we asked who's the manager who runs this hotel, and it actually come out, and they
and then
oh my
at
god,
the end of the night, remember? Oh, what are we going to do with this beer? Whisper drink.
yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, it was bugger everyone else. Whisper can have
Whisper can have
Love it.
Whisper can drink.
Oh, I love that. Well, it's like we went and did the
Touch my tummy?
Yeah, all right, later.
we went and did the Geelong Hotel. What's it called? The
Port Arlington.
The Port Arlington. I always called the Geelong Hotel. The Port Arlington. And I remember when I first walked in there, I saw your ladyship. I literally curtsied. I went, "Thank you for letting me be here." And then I got her room, thanks, Gary. And instead of me just walking in and sitting down, I went, oh, do you mind if I do? I actually asked permission the whole time we were there.
Well, that's another place we will
Not
investigate.
bother me
but
once.
it's gone under a change now. That Port Arlington Grand Hotel. I've been down there. Pardon me. I've been down there a few times, and it doesn't feel right.
It doesn't feel right at all. You
They-
get sore with stuff.
They've totally renovated the place, and they're not happy.
No. It's like, so for those that may have not had as much experience in the paranormal, we find whenever a building, hotel, a pub, anything like that gets renovated, you are playing in someone else's environment who likes things the way they were.
Oh yeah.
And when you come in and you move in on their territory and you start ripping up carpets, you start destroying staircases, you start pulling down wallpaper, that's their history.
Oh,
and
that's
you're
it.
invading their
And
home.
I was speaking to a dear friend of mine, Kylie. Hello, Kylie. Listen. And she's of the same opinion as me, and she felt the same thing. That building alongside it's a concrete wall, and that lady in white used to love looking out the window. Now she can't because they built these set of units, and all it is between the window and the wall of the units, it's about 6 inches.
Hey, Quinn.
So basically, she can't look out the window anymore because when she looks out the window, it's just a concrete wall, and she's mega cheesed off.
This is
Oh,
our
look out.
other little boy.
Hey, buddy.
You're a daddy's boy, aren't you? Yeah.
This is Quinn.
He's doing the round of the kisses by the looks of it. Gwyn, what? Oh, look out.
So, no.
No,
No.
not interested. That'd be right.
So yeah, there's quite a few different investigations, and plus I've only done a few, whether you guys have had more experience than me.
Do you know what time it is?
Oh,
I
we've
don't
been.
know, these are good questions.
Well, you can talk about the one up at Walhalla. Your friend up in the lonely
yes.
grave up the top.
Sarah. Oh, good old Sarah. So, Carrie and I went to an investigation in Walhalla, and I have a very strong connection now with the spirit up there named Sarah. And while we were there, I was going through a very low, very difficult time with, especially my heart, my feelings towards someone. And Gary and I were invited to go down there, so we did. And yeah, we went on the tour, and as we're going on the tour, the historian was telling us, and he's actually amazing. I love Walhalla. If you ever go, please go to their ghost tour as well.
Yeah, they goes to it and call into the lolly shop.
The lolly shop especially. Two lovely girls there and their family. Absolutely beautiful. And so we went down there, and what they do is they take you to each main spot, and they talk about the history. And Sarah was a beautiful young lady. I feel that she was about maybe 18 to 21. And she was betrothed, well, not betrothed, but she met a beautiful Australian man, according to the story, and he brought her back to Australia.
What?
And they were meant to get married. And whilst they were on their way back, she started to get really ill, and eventually turned out that she had... This is meant to be sad, and you're not helping. Oh, kiss it. Oh, yes. 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 Trying to make me feel such a sweetie, such a shookie.
Where's mine?
So what ended up happening with her was she got invited back to Australia to marry this beautiful or handsome man, whatever you want to call him. And on her way there, on her journey there, she started to get sick, and it turned out to be the smallpox. Was it smallpox or it was
I can't remember.
something. I think pretty sure it was smallpox, because I remember when she got me to draw her, she got me to draw all the actual smallpox
yeah.
on her. And when they found out that she was ill, they imprisoned her in her own house, and they boarded her up. She couldn't even go anywhere near her husband or anything, and they locked her in there, and they were feeding her like in a jail cell under the door, and they were feeding her food under the door. And I had this feeling that she was pregnant, maybe, as well. I just got this feeling that potentially she had something in her womb yet, whether it was fully developed or not, I don't know. And she died alone. The image I got was her all the way up against her kind of bedroom, or like the house, one of the house's wall, curled up with like the pox all over her face and her arms and everything. And it was a horrible experience. And I did the tour with them, and she wouldn't leave me alone. She kept following me and following me and following me.
She pulled more Clancy at you.
He's having a drink.
Yes.
Defounted. And so before we left, because she'd really impacted me, and my heart went out to her. I said to Gary, we've got to help her. Every time when I'm telling the story, it's perfect timing. We had to help her. There was no way we couldn't. So we went up there to the area where she was buried, and they actually had carried her body out, wrapped it all up, carried her body out, dumped her, like pretty much dug a hole, dumped her in this grave in the middle of nowhere so she wouldn't infect the town. And that's just horrible. That's just... I know they were scared, but that's just... Oh, the anger for that. Yeah, and then they burned a house down. Like the anger behind that. So when you would get there, you just would feel her anger. You wouldn't want to go on their land because you just feel really, oh, this doesn't feel right. And then they rebuilt the house. Like, first of all, you can't control the fact that you're sick. Then you're in a house by yourself, not knowing what the hell's going on. Then they're feeding you food, treating you like a zoo, worse than a zoo animal and a prisoner. And if you're pregnant, you're thinking, oh my God, am I going to live? Am I going to die? Is my baby going to live? Is my baby going to die? What happened to my partner? Why can't he visit me? Why can't he be here with me? You're alone, and then you die. And as a spirit, seeing your house burnt down, or even like being close to your body going, what the hell just happened? And then they dump your body somewhere in, like up on a mountain, just forget about you. So it just made me go, I wonder if she cursed the town. Because that's what it felt like. It felt like after everything that had happened there, with their history, it felt like she'd actually cursed it. So it would be interesting. So Gary and I went up there with a couple of our team leaders, the lovely girls from the lolly shop, and I went up there and I called her down and I tried to pass her on, and she's actually stuck with me now and again ever since. I feel her with me sometimes. So it was just, I came home and I actually asked Sarah to take a little chunk of my heart, because I just, you just get that feeling sometimes.
Yep.
And I asked her, and I think that she really saved me for that. I really do believe she saved me for that, because I had a dream about her taking, putting her hand in my chest when we got home from Valhalla and taking, I don't know, like an energy part of my heart with her and just keeping it for now. And I just, yeah. I'm glad she did that. But yeah, I just feel for this girl. I just feel for her. If anyone's wondering, Gary's just gone to the little boys' room. So it is an interesting line of volunteer work, I guess.
I don't know if anyone's commented, or I can't see the computer
No.
from here, but if you've got any questions,
Fire at us.
yeah, feel free to ask away.
We've got one person watching at the moment. They'll probably watch it later. That was Floki.
We should give, what's the name of it?
Sammy. So we actually have another investigator of ours who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, but we were planning on calling her.
But we've got another,
And then we actually have, what is the time? It's not 9 o'clock yet.
what time we have to, what time?
After 9 o'clock. So I reckon we do this one.
Sorry. Ooh.
Ow. I reckon we do this one and then maybe do the other one a bit later. But yeah, I reckon you send
Maybe have a bit of a break and
Yeah, we'll have a break and then we'll come back.
And we'll do some calls. We'll see if we can contact Sammy, and then if not, we'll
We'll just come back and sit
come
around
back.
and have a bit of a chat.
Yep.
And
I need to go to the bathroom anyway, and the puppies Hungry.
They weren't actually licking. Floki wasn't actually licking them before. He was just tasting. No, they've had a good feed.
How you doing, Maya?
Yes, I think that's what we'll do. We'll have a short break, what, 5-10 minutes?
Yes, I need to go
suppose,
to the girls' room.
Yeah.
Yes, and make a few phone calls and see who we can get online and ask them a few questions. And yeah, so we'll be back in a few minutes here.
Hey, little miss.
Just before we go, we might have little Maya coming to say hello. Maybe? No?
No.
No, she's just going to the toilet. Alrighty, sounds like I got to too. Oh, you come to say goodbye.
Maya,
Good boy.
come here.
So we'll be back about 10
Probably
minutes.
too low down for people to see. This
Oh.
is little Maya.
Little Maya.
So we'll see you probably about 10-15 minutes time, people. Come back and join us again.
See you soon.